My head feels like it's about to split open. I push myself up from the cracked yellow earth. This tattered robe I'm wearing chills me to the bone. Where am I? Did I time travel? And I ended up as someone who's about to starve to death. The starting situation is way too miserable. Civilization Lord System Awakening. Binding to a high potential female. Gain favorability and civilization points. I'm instantly excited. Alright, having a system is all I need. Beginner pack opened. Received one chive pancake box. A wax paper package suddenly appears in my hand. I look at this box. The corners of my mouth can't help but twitch. In the distance, I hear the clanking of chains dragging on the ground. Come on, don't miss out as you pass by. Fresh and pretty young ladies. Just one piece of food and you can take her home. A young girl is roughly dragged out into the sunlight. Her neck and arms instantly break out in red rashes. Oh my God! Look, her body is festering. Is she cursed? She breaks out the moment she sees the sun. A bringer of misfortune, and she's free. I'm afraid I'll lose my lifespan just standing here. Hurry up and take her away. I look at the girl curling up in pain in the sunlight. Bringer of misfortune? Isn't this just severe sun allergy? Ding! High potential target Su Qingwu detected. What bad luck. I've wasted so much food raising you for nothing. I can't watch anymore. I step forward. I quickly take off my outer robe and completely cover her with it. I'll take her. You look so broke. How are you going to pay? Do you have any grain? Is this enough? Made of pure white flour. All right, deal. I tightly wrap the girl in my arms with my robe and carry her back to our empty, shabby house. Her allergy is that severe. Don't be afraid. Once we're in the shade, it won't get worse. Yo, Lin Yu, are you out of your mind from hunger? You actually traded fine grain for a cursed demon girl. Get out. My family doesn't need you worrying about us. After a while, Su Qingwu on the bed slowly opens her eyes. You saved the wrong person. If I stay, I'll only be a burden. You should go. I'm not leaving. In my dictionary, there's no reason to abandon my own woman. This isn't a curse, just an illness. I can cure it. Binding mission activated. Reward, special anti-allergy medicine. I immediately pour a bowl of fresh water. Gently help her sit up. I gently apply the cool ointment to her rashes. Bear with it, this needs to go on. You'll be fine after a good sleep. A tear slips from the corner of Su Qingwu's eye. Qingwu feels like she just met a deity. The morning sunlight shines through the broken windows into the room. Su Qingwu slowly opens her eyes. She touches her arm. Suddenly she freezes. The rash is gone. You're awake. How do you feel? Su Qingwu sits up abruptly, looking at her fair, flawless skin. You cured my curse. You really are a miracle worker. King's life is yours from now on. Ding, high potential female detected. Su Qing's gratitude is overwhelmingly positive. I quickly help her up and bring her the porridge. No need to kneel for everything. You must be hungry. Drink the porridge quickly. The rich smell of rice porridge drifts outside through the broken door. That demon girl must have died for sure last night. Come on, let's go in and drive them out of the village, so we don't catch her bad luck. The door bursts open with a loud bang from the outside. Auntie Wang leads a group of people in. They rush in menacingly, but their aggression disappears when they see who is inside. It's as if a freeze spell was cast on them. Right now, all the red rashes on her face are gone. Her skin is like snow. Her appearance is stunning. Wait a second. Isn't this the demon girl with festering sores from yesterday?
How?
How does she become a fairy? My goodness. How is that a demon girl? She's clearly an angel. I feel anger rising in my chest. I step forward and block Su Kingwoo behind me. Had enough staring? If you have, get out of my house. From today on, if anyone dares say another bad word about my wife, don't blame me for what happens. Auntie Wang leaves angrily with her group. The yard finally quiets down. I turn around and see Su Kingwoo has finished the porridge. The bowl is spotlessly clean. Not a single grain of rice left. She puts the bowl down, her fingers still tracing the edge, looking at her painfully thin face. The porridge isn't enough. System, exchange for self-heating hot pot. In my palm, a square plastic box suddenly appears. Su Kingwoo leans in the corner, staring at me puzzled. I unwrap the package. The box actually starts boiling by itself, bubbling and steaming hot. Her eyes go wide with shock, completely stunned. What? What kind of magic is this? I set the steaming hot pot in front of her. The rich smell of beef oil fills our small house. Su Kingwoo lifts a piece of beef with shaking chopsticks. The moment she puts it in her mouth, she freezes and starts crying just like that. I thought I'd never eat hot food again in this life. She cries while eating bite after bite through her tears. System notification. Favorability plus 30. Eat slower, don't burn yourself. Su Kingwoo looks up at me, her eyes red and bright. Even unkempt, her delicate features stand out. Her eyes are like holding the whole galaxy inside. Brother Lin, who are you really? I smile. Just someone who doesn't want you to go hungry. System voice, favorability plus 10. Oh, right. I take out a set of quick-dry thermal underwear and hand them to her. Change into this. Those rags you're wearing won't keep out the cold. Su Kingwoo takes the clothes, her fingers tracing the fabric. She goes completely still. What kind of weaving is this? Smoother than shoe brocade. Warmer than mink fur. How could a fabric like this exist in this world? It must be something from the heavens. I just casually say that. Su Kingwoo hugs the clothes. Her eyes get red again. I turn away, giving her space to change. Hearing her rustling behind me, then she softly says something, light as if it would be blown away by the wind. Brother Lin Kingwoo, this life is yours now. Favorability hits 60. Exclusive mission unlocked. Mission: bring back Su Kingwoo's sister, Su Xiao. Reward: civilization transmission module. I look at the mission panel that pops up from the system.
It has a location marked on it.
Su Xiao, age 13. Being held for sale in the black market amidst the chaos. Su Kingwoo doesn't know where her sister is yet. But I do. Early the next morning, I left Su 75 in the house to recover, and went to the county alone. The reason was simple. I needed silver. A lot of silver. Many key supplies in the system shop need to be fed with special ancient materials to unlock upgrades. And those materials, ancient medicines and rare minerals, can only be found at pawn shops and pharmacies. I didn't have any silver, but I had the system exchange me some vacuum-insulated thermos bottles. One by one, shiny silver stainless steel thermos bottles appeared in my palm. I walked into the biggest pawn shop in town, Wenbaojai. The shopkeeper was a thin, old man, with droopy eyelids. Get out, you beggar. I went in the back and placed the thermos on the counter, then poured a cup of hot water I boiled last night. Steam rose up. The shopkeeper's jaw nearly dropped out of place. This kettle isn't on the fire, but the water is still piping hot. He reached out to touch the wall of the thermos. Outside feels cool, but inside is hot. I kept a straight face. This is called the ever-warm immortal kettle. The water inside stays hot for 12 hours. The shopkeeper's hands were shaking. I'll offer 500 taels. 500 taels. I took the silver note and left the pawn shop. Then I swept through 3 pharmacies in a row and bought up all their aged herbal medicines. When I got home, I put everything into the system panel. The system leveled up to 55, too. The shop unlocked new categories: white sugar, matches, compasses. At the same time, it unlocked a function: target coordinates. A red dot popped up on the location panel, blinking at a spot 80 li away. I clenched my fist. I found my little sister's location. But the Rebel Tooth Market is a dangerous place. I have to get ready. At that moment, Su Qingwu walked out from the back room. She changed into the plain clothes from last night. Her hair was still messy, but her color looked much better. Brother Lin, what are you about to do? I just went to the county and bought some things. Help me pack these into small bags. Su Qingwu took the white sugar, picked up a pinch with her fingers and put it in her mouth. Her eyes opened wide instantly. This is 10 times sweeter than pear candy. What is this? White sugar isn't worth much where I'm from. But here, if this stuff hit the market, it'd be worth more than gold. So I'll use it to trade for even more things. Su Qingwu lowered her head to keep packing, then suddenly stopped. Brother Lin, why are you so nice to me? You saved me, fed me immortal food, gave me immortal clothes. What exactly do you want? I looked into her eyes and said seriously, I want you to survive. And also, your sister Su Xiao's location. I've already found it. Su Qingwu looked like she got struck by lightning. She jumped up suddenly. Her eyes instantly turned red. Xiao's still alive. Where is she? 80 li away. At the Rebel Tooth Market. Su Qingwu clenched her fists so hard they turned white. Hope and fear flooded her eyes at the same time. I'm going to save her. I promise you. As long as I'm here, you 2 sisters will definitely reunite. Su Qingwu looked at me. Her lips trembled for a long time. In the end, she kowtowed deeply. I don't need you to be my servant. I need someone who can stand by my side. Ding affection reached 80. I turned and headed out, getting ready to go to the Rebel Tooth Market. It's vicious people all along the 80 li road, but with a high voltage stun baton in my arms. I'm not worried at all. The Rebel Tooth Market was set up outside a ruined temple. 2 armored thugs stood guard with knives. I watched from the shadows for half an hour. There were about 20 guards inside. Su Xiao was locked in a woodshed in the backyard. The system confirmed the coordinates. I took out the high-voltage stun baton from the system, set it to max power, then walked out upright and openly. The thugs at the entrance drew their knives when they saw me. I didn't give him a chance to finish his sentence. The moment I jabbed the stun baton into his neck, blue arcs of electricity exploded all over him. He twitched and his eyes rolled up, and he fell right down. The other one freaked out and swung his knife at me. I dodged to the side and nailed him right under the arm with the baton. Another flash of lightning. 2 people down in 2 seconds. The guards in the yard heard the noise. I rushed in with the stun baton, mowing them down as I went. Blue sparks exploded in the dark. Thunder. He has thunder magic. Run. All 20 guards fell to the ground, convulsing. I kicked open the woodshed door. Inside was a thin little girl curled up, but her eyes were exceptionally bright. Your sister Su Qingwu asked me to pick you up. Her pupils suddenly shrank, and then her lips started to tremble. Sister is still alive? She's alive, waiting for you. Let's go. She grabbed my hand tightly. She kept looking back at the guards collapsed on the ground. What did you use to take them down? Not swords, not fists or feet. That blue light. It's a tool. What's the principle? How can it knock down people through armor? I raised my eyebrows. This girl's first reaction is actually to ask about the principle. System notification. Target identified. Su Xiao's talent assessment. Technology comprehension. S level. You want to know the principles? Su Xiao nods enthusiastically. Her eyes shine as bright as stars. Come back with me. I'll teach you step by step. Ding. Su Xiao binding successful. Initial favorability, 40. I carry Su Xiao on my back as we head back. She will become the first scientist in this ancient world. Su Qingwu waits at the door all night. The moment she sees Su Xiao on my back, Su Qingwu's legs give out and she kneels to the ground. Xiao. Su Qingwu's favorability jumps past 90. Points surge by 600. I take out something I exchanged. From the civilization transmission module, a compass. Su Xiao takes it. She examines it back and forth for a long while. No matter how this needle turns, it always points to the same direction. Yes, it always points north. She suddenly looks up at me. There's an almost fanatical light in her eyes. If this thing could be mass-produced for navigation, marching, and route finding, everything related to directions would be completely changed. I smile. Welcome to the world of science. Su Xiao hugs the compass tightly, murmuring to herself. Su Qingwu comes to my side. She softly says, Brother Lin, I really don't know how to repay you. No need for repayment. But I have an idea. This village is too rundown. We need to build a real home. A home no one can break. A glimmer flashes in Su Qing's eyes. You're talking about building Bao, right? I'm a woman first, but I grew up with my father in the military. Formation deployment, training new recruits. I know all these. That's exactly what I was waiting to hear. Then starting tomorrow, help me recruit refugees. Train the troops. For the first time, Su Qingwu reveals a genuine smile. Order received, Brother Lin. Su Qingwu unlocks exclusive talent. Commander of the general's family. I look at the system panel, a faint smile on my lips. The first piece of the chess game has been set. To build Bao, unification comes first. Voices in the village. And the biggest troublemaker here is Zhao Laoxi. Last time, after being blinded by the flashlight, not only did Zhao Laoxi not quiet down, he actually spread rumors everywhere, calling me a demon. He goaded a few thugs to try and steal my grain at night. This news was gathered by Su Qingwu. Brother Lin, that group led by Zhao Laoxi might cause trouble tonight. I sneered coldly. At dusk, Zhao Laoxi indeed brought 7 or 8 loafers, armed with hoes and wooden sticks, and blocked my front door looking for trouble. Lin Yu, I was blinded by your magic last time, and had a headache for 3 days. I open the door and go out. Su Qingwu stands behind me, her hand at her waist. Zhao Laoxi, I'll give you one chance. Zhao Laoxi spits on the ground. Cut the crap, get him, guys. I raise my hand. Pepper spray hits Zhao Laoxi's face with precision. Zhao Laoxi screams miserably, throws down his hoe, and rolls on the ground, clutching his face. Snot and tears gush out like a faucet. The other loafers back away 3 steps in fright. I walk toward them, spray in hand. Who else wants to try it? Zhao Laoxi rolls on the ground for a full 5 minutes. Finally, he crawls to my feet. His face is swollen like a pig's head. Great immortal Lin. I was blind and ignorant. Please have mercy. I squat down, looking into his eyes. From today on, Liuxi village listens to me. If you disagree, you're welcome to try again anytime. Zhao Laoxi kowtows like mad, even making his forehead bleed. Su Qingwu stands at the door, watching everything. There's a new layer in her gaze. It's real recognition. Ding! Village prestige value breaks through. Threshold reached, refugee recruitment unlocked. I look into the distance. Beneath the famine-stricken night sky, countless homeless refugees are fleeing in all directions. There's an immortal in Liuxi village who can summon heavenly thunder and has endless magic food. In just 3 days, over 100 ragged refugees gather at the village entrance. They kneel down, begging for me to take them in. I set up 10 large pots at the gate, all steaming hot, with rice topped with sliced luncheon meat. When the first bowl is handed out, the whole place goes quiet. A skinny old man shakily takes the bowl, takes the first bite, and bursts out sobbing. The old man has lived 60 years and never eaten such good food. The whole crowd weeps loudly. I stand on the steps, looking at all these tear-stained faces. There's only one rule. If you eat my food, you listen to me. If I tell you to build houses, you build houses. If I say dig canals, dig canals. Anyone who slacks off won't get a second bowl. We will obey the immortal system. As prestige converts, civilization points plus 800. Su Kingwu has already started, selecting the 30 strongest refugees from among the crowd. Su Zhaoxiao takes the blueprints I gave her and leads another group in measuring the foundations. I stand on high ground, watching it all. The shape of a new village is emerging. But it's not enough. On the system panel, a new red dot is flashing, labeled Daughter of Fortune, located 40 li from here. Kingshan County Highway. I lick my lips. Now, this next one is the real big shot. A smashed carriage is overturned by the roadside, with sachets scattered everywhere, and silk trampled into the mud. An old servant looking like a manager lies in a pool of blood, already dead. A woman is surrounded by 5 bandits. She looks to be in her early 20s, wearing a silk dress now torn. Her features are delicate, yet her eyes are unusually calm. Even standing at death's door, her back remains straight. So, the little lady from the Shen family, your uncle has already taken all your shops, servants, and storehouses. Everything's been wiped clean. You're just a stray dog now. So what's with the high and mighty act? Be good and come with us to serve Master Zhang. At least you'll have food to eat. The woman sneers coldly. Even if Shen Mingyao dies here on this road, I would never serve the dogs who framed my father and stole the Shen family's legacy, even as a concubine. Not knowing what's good for you. Tie her up, boys. I step out from behind the tree. Let's see who dares touch her. The 5 bandits all turn to look. Blue light crackles from the stun baton in my hand, gleaming strikingly in the dusk. Where did this punk come from? All 5 collapse to the ground, twitching. Shen Mengyao looks at the bandits on the ground, then at the blue glowing rod in my hand. His pupils narrowed slightly, but he didn't scream or kneel like ordinary people. What is that you use, sir? It doesn't look like a sword or a blade, and it's definitely not a hidden weapon. It's something for saving lives. I put the stun baton away. You're Shen Mengyao, the eldest daughter of the Shen trading house. He squinted his eyes. Do you know me? The system knows you. The system voice sounded in my mind. Fortune's daughter Shen Mingyao discovered. After binding SS-level business talent, the trade module mole can be activated. Unlocks the function to exchange bulk trade goods. I've heard of the Shen trading house. I tossed him a water flask. You have 2 choices now. First, wander alone in this wilderness, so you'll either starve to death or get captured sooner or later. Second, come with me. I'll give you a batch of goods, and you'll help me do business. Shen Mengyao took the water flask, took a sip, then stared at me for a full 10 seconds. Why do you think I'd help you? I took out 2 items from the system, a pack of refined white sugar, a box of cooling balm. You're a business person. See how much these 2 things are worth. Shen Mingyao opened the white sugar, tasted a bit. His pupils widened instantly. Then he opened the cooling balm, gave it a sniff, applied it to the inside of his wrist, tested out the cool and refreshing sensation. It made him suck in a breath. These 2 things. His voice trembled slightly. If I'm not mistaken, either one of them alone is enough to monopolize the trade of a whole city. I smiled and extended my hand. Pleasure doing business with you. Shen Mingyao looked at my hand, stayed silent for 3 seconds. Then he shook Shen Mingyao's hand. This life, I'll only recognize the person who can help me rise again. As long as you don't betray me. My only job is to provide goods. Making money is up to you. Ding, Shen Mingyao. Binding successful. Starting favorability at 30. Trade module activated. I brought Shen Mingyao back to Liuxi village. What he didn't know was, from that moment on, a business empire capable of stirring the entire land had already started to sprout. Shen Mingyao's ability exceeded my expectations. He came up with a complete plan in just 3 days. Young Master Lean, the white sugar and cooling balm are excellent. But the first batch of goods shouldn't be spread out too thin. I want to use a single product to blow up the market. Make our name known. What do you want to use? He looked at me, gaze burning with intensity. Do you have any more of those shiny silver things that reflect your image? I took out a stainless steel mirror from the system. It's a pure stainless steel, polished portable mirror. The clarity is just unparalleled. Shen Mengyao tried out the mirror for the first time. He looked at his crystal clear reflection. His hands were trembling. If this was sold in the county's makeup shop. I'll leave it to you. 7 days later, we rented a storefront on bustling Chang'an Street in the county and hung up the Ling Trading Company sign. The first batch had only 10 stainless steel mirrors. Once the word got out, all the ladies and young misses in the county went crazy. Oh my God, what kind of mirror is this? It's 100 times clearer than a bronze mirror. 100 taels? Who cares about expensive? I'll pay 150. I'll pay 200 taels. I want this mirror. All 10 mirrors sold out within an hour. The highest one went for 300 taels. Young Master Lin received 2,100 taels from the first batch payment, plus the deposit for the refined sugar order. A total of 3,000 taels. I was just about to praise him. Suddenly, a loud crash came from outside the door. The plaque of Lin Trading Company that was just hung up was kicked down by someone. It split in two when it hit the ground. More than a dozen thugs armed with machetes rushed in. The scar-faced leader looked brutal. He slashed his blade onto the counter. Did Shen Mengyao ever ask me about King Long Gang's rules? Shen Mengyao's face turned pale. She instinctively shielded me. I stared at that knife embedded in the solid wood counter. My expression turned cold. Scarface leered as he sized up Shen Mengyao, the bankrupt heiress of the Shen family. Pretty attractive, actually. If you don't hand over 1,000 taels for protection today, I'll smash up this shop and take her with me. In broad daylight. Don't you people have any respect for the law? I am the law. Scarface reached out to grab Shen Mengyao's collar. I quickly pulled Shen Mengyao behind me. With my right hand, I grabbed a high-voltage stun baton and jabbed it right into Scarface's chest. A blinding blue light flashed. Scarface didn't even have time to scream. He collapsed straight to the ground. The rest of the thugs were stunned. Witchcraft. He knows witchcraft. System Redeem Riot Shield. A transparent polycarbonate riot shield suddenly appeared in my left hand. Electric baton in my right, I charged straight into the crowd. A completely one-sided beatdown. Blades bounced off the riot shield, not even leaving a scratch. But anyone hit by my stun baton went down instantly. In under a minute, the place was filled with wailing. I stepped on Scarface's head. My tone was calm. Go back and tell your boss. This Lin Trading Company belongs to me, Lin Yuzhou. Show up again and I'll make sure you can't even be a ghost. The thugs scrambled to escape in a panic. I turned to look at Shen Mengyao. She stared at me in shock. Those usually sharp and calm eyes now only showed raw awe and envy. Young Master Lin, you weren't scared, were you? I handed her a tissue. In the future, when you run into this kind of trouble doing business, stay back. I'll handle it. Shen Mengyao held that tissue and suddenly smiled. The corners of her eyes turned red. Lin Yu, you're the kind of man someone would give their life to. Ding! Shen Mengyao's loyalty score hit 100%. The silver kept flowing in. More and more refugees gathered. Su Qingwa's Lin family troops had grown to 50 people. Su Zhaoxiao used what I taught in the backyard and built the first simple water wheel. Everything was proceeding as planned. Until that day. A tiger's roar echoed from the back mountain. That tiger on the back mountain normally wouldn't come down. But in a famine year, not just people are hungry out of their minds. Even wild beasts started searching villages for food. That day, Shen Mengyao took 2 staff to check the water source in the back mountain. When they reached halfway up the mountain, a large white tiger pounced out of the bush. One worker was smacked flying on the spot, his chest bone shattered. The other was so scared his legs gave way, and he tumbled down the slope. Shen Mengyao was forced behind a big tree. The tiger's sharp claws had already left half-inch deep gashes in the trunk. The system blared a warning in my head. Emergency rescue mission activated.
Target.
Shen Mengyao's life is in serious danger. Rescue must be completed within 10 minutes. Rewards doubled. Failure means permanently losing. You're bound target. I glanced at the system's shop. There was only one weapon that could kill from a kilometer away. Barrett M82, a one sniper rifle. Exchange price, 5,000 civilization points. I currently had 5,300 points total. Almost wiped out for the exchange. My arms were instantly filled with a metallic sensation. A nearly 1.5 meter long sniper rifle appeared in my hands out of thin air. I rushed with the rifle to the high ground at the village entrance. Got prone, pulled the bolt and loaded the bullet. In the scope, a kilometer away in the back mountain forest. That giant tiger was circling a tree, attacking. Shen Mengyao had already climbed up the tree, but the branches couldn't support her weight and were starting to crack. Less than 30 seconds left. I held my breath. Crosshairs locked onto the tiger's head. Squeezed the trigger. Boom! A 12.7 millimeters antimaterial round tore through the air. That kilometer was covered in just a fraction of a second. The tiger's head exploded instantly. Its huge body lurched forward 2 steps, then crashed to the ground. Never moved again. Everyone in the village heard the explosion. It was like a thunderclap across the sky. When the villagers got to the back mountain, they saw the gigantic tiger carcass. No knife cuts or blade wounds on its body, just a hole in its head. Immortal Lin! Immortal Lin called lightning to slay the tiger. One bolt of lightning exploded the tiger's head. The villagers all fell to their knees. Shen Mengyao was helped down from the tree, trembling all over. She stumbled straight toward me, said nothing, and threw herself into my arms. "You came?" she mumbled. "I told you, you sell what I give you, and I'll keep you safe." Ding! Shen Mengyao's affection surpassed 95. Loyalty maxed out. That night, I returned the Barrett to the system space, looked at the 300 civilization points I had left, and let out a bitter laugh. The real work was only just beginning. After burning the tiger's body, the village was much more peaceful. I redeemed a batch of modern toiletries from the system. "What's this?" Su Qingwu sniffed the shampoo bottle, completely confused. "Time to wash your hair. Use it like I taught you." An hour later, Su Qingwu came out from behind the screen in the backyard. I almost dropped my teacup. He used to be messy and disheveled, covered in dust. I only knew he had delicate features. But now, his long black hair cascaded down like a waterfall in the sunset, shining with a silky gloss. His brows and eyes were both cold and soft, with a stunning, heartbreaking beauty.
Even Su Xiaoxiao was dumbfounded.
Sister. Now that you've washed up, you'll make all the courtesans in the county feel inferior." Su Qingwu got embarrassed from being stared at. Her ears turned red, and she sneaked a look at me. "Brother Lin, do I look good?" Her voice was as light as a breeze. I cleared my throat. "You look beautiful." Su Qingwu's whole face turned red. Ding! Affection surpassed 85. Emotional status, feelings emerging. But there was also a subtle hint of jealousy in her eyes. "Young Master Lin, you are truly blessed. By the way, I finished drawing up the mansion's blueprint. I want to build a real fortress." Construction of the mansion went on for 20 days. Su Zhouxiao optimized the design based on engineering principles. Su Qingwu organized the defense structures. And a fortress with high walls and deep courtyards rose up in Liuxi village. I named it Lin Fortress. The night it was completed, I redeemed 12 solar-powered streetlights. installed them evenly along the fortress walls and the main road. After the sun sets, the lights turn on automatically. Liuxi village is as bright as day. The villagers are all speechless. The immortal lights need no oil or fire. They can shine on their own, brighter than the moon. Immortal Lin brought the stars down from the sky. Su Xingwu stands on the treasure wall, overlooking the brightly lit scene. His eyes turn a little red. Brother Lin, this is the first time I feel glad to be alive. I'm standing next to him, watching the lights that belong to us. This is just the beginning. Su Xingwu, let me show you something. I take out a set of walkie-talkies from the system. Press the call button. Hand one to him. Hello, can you hear me? The walkie-talkie suddenly plays my voice. He almost drops it out of shock. This is instant communication over 1,000 miles. It's even better than a 1,000-mile voice transmitter. From now on, your patrol team will each have one. All information will be shared in real time. Su-75 holds the walkie-talkie with both hands, as if he's holding a priceless treasure. Brother Lin, with these, I can help you train a military like never before. I'll leave it to you then. Su Qingwu unlocks the exclusive military module. Lin family army's combat power increases by 50%. The lights pierce through the darkness of the wilderness, illuminating for miles around. Meanwhile, in the distance, at Qingshan County office, a woman stares blankly out the window. Her name is the Lingxi. She's a discarded consort married off to an unremarkable county magistrate. She thought she would live and die unknown for the rest of her life, until she heard that name Lin Yu, a man who can summon heavenly thunder, produce immortal grain, and create immortal lights. The Lingxi looks into the distance, at the faint light coming from the direction of the Lin clan fortress. For the first time, a thought appears in her mind. I want to see it with my own eyes. Drought has struck. It hasn't rained a drop in Qingshan County for 3 months. The crops have withered. The people are gathering in groups, kneeling and begging for water at the county office door. County Magistrate Lu Yan is overwhelmed with anxiety. Magistrate Lu brings his wife, the Lingxi, and comes to the Lin clan fortress. Master Lin, this old man, has heard of your miraculous abilities. 100,000 people in Qingshan County are about to die of thirst. Please save them. Magistrate Lu speaks as he prepares to kneel. I quickly help him up. Magistrate, that's not necessary. I have a solution for the water, but I have one condition. What condition? The ancient books stored in your county office's warehouse. Let me borrow them. Magistrate Lu is stunned for a moment. Those ancient texts are all relics from the previous dynasty. To him, they're just piles of useless paper. But to my system, they're all sources of energy. Deal. As long as you can produce water. I nod. The next day, in front of all the villagers and Magistrate Lu, I redeem a deep water drilling machine from the system. The moment that machine appears, everyone is stunned. A metallic giant that turns on its own and roars. The drill digs into the cracked earth. Yellow dust flies everywhere. 10 meters, 20 meters, 50 meters, everyone holds their breath. Bang! A stream of clear underground spring water erupts. The water shoots into the sky, splitting into countless streams in the sunlight. Water! Water is coming out. Immortal Lin has brought up water. The people rush up in a frenzy to get water, crying as they drink. Ding, you've rescued 100,000 people in the county, causing a sensational impact on civilization. Magistrate Lu is so moved that he tears up and repeats excellent 3 times. But the one I notice isn't him. It's the person standing behind him.
He has an air of composure and calm.
Like someone who's weathered many storms. He looks at the drilling machine. His eyes only show cool analysis. I've seen this look in Su Zhaoxiao's eyes. But there's something more to it than Su Zhaoxiao. Full scan. Destiny's daughter, the Lingxi, identity tag. Imperial discarded consort, protected by the previous dynasty. I narrow my eyes slightly. An imperial discarded consort, how interesting. As agreed, he sent someone to deliver all the ancient books from the county Yaman's warehouse to the Lin family fortress. I fed those books to the system, and my points increased dramatically. But the key to the story isn't the ancient books. It's the Lingxi herself. On the second day of the patrol, the Lingxi came to the Lin fortress alone. She was dressed in a simple silk gown, without any attendants following her. She walked with poise and calm, completely unlike a magistrate's wife. Madam the welcome. Please have a seat. But the Lynxie wasn't interested in any of that. Her eyes kept scanning everything in the fortress. The solar street lights, Su Qingwu training the guards, Su Zhaoxiao tinkering with the compass and water wheel. Mr. Lin, nothing around you is ordinary. Who exactly are you? I didn't answer her directly. Instead, I took out a can of ice-cold cola from the system and handed it to her. Here, have a drink first. It's hot outside. I pulled the tab open for her. The can hissed as it opened. She took a cautious sip. Then she froze completely. This kind of experience is basically a dimensional shock. For the first time, her voice trembled a little. What's in this? Collade's refreshing and cools you off. The Lynxie took a big gulp this time. But she didn't say anything anymore. Still, I saw her ears turn red. Not from shyness, but from a long-repressed person being suddenly touched, with nowhere to place her emotions red from that. Mr. Lin, she set down the can of cola, looking at me seriously. You make immortal lamps, magical water, and have endless food supplies. You're not an ordinary person. But you just stay hidden away here in this little village, never seeking credit from officials, never trying to curry favor with the powerful. Why? Because the officials and the powerful can't save this world. The Lynxie was silent for a long time. What if there was something that could force the emperor of this country to step down? My heart started racing, but I kept a straight face. Madam, what are you really trying to say? She looked me in the eye, and in her gaze was a sharpness honed by 10 years of endurance. Now is not the time. But soon she stood up to leave. That thing called cola. Can I have another can? I was stunned for a moment, then smiled. Sure. The Lynxie's trust increased by 100. Emotional state, intense. Curiosity and trust are beginning to sprout. I watched her walk away, my heart churning with emotion. Daughter of destiny. Emperor's abdication. Former dynasty's treasure vault. This game is much bigger than I expected. Things were getting complicated. Within my permissions, I offered guidance at key moments. The people all called me Mr. Lin. My points skyrocketed. The system leveled up to 55.3. But the tall tree catches the wind. The grain tycoon Wang Yuanwei was getting restless. The people were selling their children just to buy his grain. But once I stepped in, building wells and handing out food, Wang Yuanwei hated me to the core. But I had no idea about any of this for now. The Lynxie sat quietly in the corner, watching the drinking and toasting. After the banquet ended, I got up to leave. Walking through the hallway, I heard a light hiss. The Lynxie was sitting on a stone bench, rubbing her ankle. A fine sheen of sweat covered her forehead. Sprained? She looked up and saw it was me, and the pain made her sit back down. It's nothing, just need some rest. I ignored her, pretending to be tough, knelt down, and took out a bottle of Yunnan Baiyao spray from the system. Take off your shoes. The Lynxie's expression changed slightly. Mr. Lin, men and women shouldn't touch each other. You're talking etiquette with me during a famine. She was at a loss for words. After hesitating a moment, she slowly took off her embroidered shoes. Her ankle was badly swollen. Aiming at the swollen area, I pressed the spray nozzle. The moment the medicine hit her skin, the Lynxie shivered all over. That icy sensation went straight through her skin, immediately followed by the relief the medicine brought. She instinctively grabbed my shoulder, then suddenly realized what she was doing, and quickly let go. In the moonlight, I saw her face flush bright red. I could feel her heartbeat even from a distance. Madam, your real identity wasn't just the magistrate's wife, right? She fell silent. The moonlight outlined her profile, tracing a hard-to-explain loneliness. The past doesn't matter. If you ever want to talk about it, I'm listening. She glanced at me, and for a moment her gaze softened. Thank you for the medicine, Ding. The Lynxie's trust increased by 500. I stood up, took 2 steps back. I'll leave the spray with you. Use it any time it swells. Then I turned to leave. But what I didn't know was, right after I turned around, the Lynxie lowered her head, staring at the little white bottle in her hand. She sat alone in the moonlight, smiling. That was the first time she smiled from the heart. Meanwhile, on the other side of the county seat, Wang Guanyuanwai was speaking to a man in a secret chamber. Brothers of Black Wind Fortress, I'll pay 3,000 taels of silver. Help me destroy the Lin family fortress. Wang Guanyuanwai went all out. He not only paid to hire 300 Black Wind bandits, but also colluded with several local men in town as inside agents. His plan was simple. First kill the magistrate, cause chaos, then use the opportunity to massacre Lin's fortress. The first step was completed without me knowing. That night, late, Black Wind Fortress assassins snuck into the yamen. Magistrate Liu was a civil officer, but when facing the assassins he didn't run. He drew his rusty sword and fought to the death in front of the bedroom door. You bandits will not harm my wife. 3 knives pierced him at the same time. The Lynxie woke up in shock to see her husband lying in a pool of blood. His eyes was still struggling to look at her. Lynxie, go find Lin Yun. Lu Weiyan took his last breath. The Lynxie didn't cry. She moved as quickly as possible, pulling a roll of bright yellow silk from a secret compartment, the late emperor's secret edict, stuffed it into her clothes, then climbed out the window to escape the yamen. But one of the assassin's blades still cut her back. Bleeding all over, she ran desperately in the darkness, heading toward the Lin fortress. Su Xinwu's patrol team found the dying the Lynxie outside the fortress. Brother Lin, hurry. I rushed to the gate and saw the blood-soaked the Lynxie collapse on the ground. She was clutching that roll of silk tightly to her chest. Even unconscious, her fingers refused to let go. The system blared alarm notifications. Target the Lynxie's life value below 10%. I didn't hesitate, immediately redeemed a full set of modern surgical suture kit. Cleaned the wound, stitched, stopped the bleeding, injected antiviral serum. That night, I used every bit of first aid knowledge I learned in my previous life, with Su Jingwu helping me. Holding the Lynxie's convulsing body, Shen Mengyao boils water and hands over gauze. Su Zhaoxiao times and checks the pulse nearby. 2 full hours passed. I sat on the ground. My hands were covered in blood, so exhausted I couldn't speak. Dawn broke. The first thing the Lynxie said upon waking was that Lu Weiyan is dead. The Black Wind gang will come. I stood up. Let them come. Ding, the Lynxie binding successful. Detected a large-scale armed force approaching. Around 1,000 people. I let out a cold chuckle. System, show me. The most expensive weapon in the LV Points Mall. Gatling M134 6-barrel rotary machine gun. I glanced at my points. Balance, 8,700. Redemption in 4 hours. Su King's 50-man guard squad is fully armed. Strict discipline. Orderly formation. Su Kingwu stands by my side, eyes coldly fixed on something. They're arriving from afar. A dark crowd appears on the horizon. 1,000 Black Wind gang bandits waving broadswords and spears. Leading them is the gang leader, One-Eyed Mei Bao. This man is a ruthless killer. All of Qing County fear his name. Brothers, flatten Lin Fortress. All the silver, food, and women inside are yours. Kill 1,000 people. A unified, furious roar. The sheer wave of noise almost shakes the dirt walls apart. The guard squad atop the wall all pale. Some gun barrels begin to tremble. Su Xinwu glances back at me. I nod. Then I walk to the very center of the wall, looking down at the swarming bandits. Inside the system space, the Gatling gun materializes, right in front of me. I hoist that iron beast, mounted atop the battlement. 6 barrels, reflecting cold metallic gleams under the sunlight. Lin Immortal, what is that thing? A guard squad member asks. Cover your ears. I say, then press the trigger. Boom! 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 6 barrels spin. Tongues of fire roar out. That sound isn't gunfire. It's a storm of metal. The first row is instantly shredded to bits. The second row can't stop in time, directly stomping over their comrades' corpses into the hail of bullets, only to fall as well. The third row finally realizes what's happening. They begin a wild retreat. I slowly sweep the gun. The barrage forms an invisible wall, sweeping from left to right across the whole bandit horde. Ma Bao watches all of this. His pupils shrink to pinpoints. What kind of immortal technique is this? A burst of bullets flies over. He's torn to shreds with his horse. 3 minutes. It took 3 minutes from start to finish. The 1,000-strong gang was left in ruins. Su Qinglu's lips trembled atop the wall. Not because of fear, but out of shock. She's the daughter of a general. She's seen battlefields since childhood, but she's never witnessed such crushing slaughter. Lin broke her voice hoarse. What kind of weapon is this? You don't need to know the details. All you need to know. I turn my head to look at her. With me here, no one can breach Lin Fortress. The Lingxi drags his wounded body up the wall, witnesses the mess with his own eyes. He stays silent for a long while. Then he says, Mr. Lin, I've made a decision. What decision? I'm going to assist you. There's not a hint of hesitation in his eyes. Not just because you saved my life, but because you're the only one who can change this world. Ding! The Lingxi's favor breaks 90. Unlocking unique talent. Imperial chessboard. That night, the villagers gathered around the tiger warriors and bandit warriors, held a grand celebration feast. I stood atop a high spot, overlooking the brightly lit Lin Fortress. An idea surged within me, becoming clearer and clearer. This famine-ridden, chaotic world, I won't just guard a single village. What I want is to change the world. The Black Wind Gang was wiped out. The magistrate entered Huayan. News of his death spread throughout all of Qing County. In an instant, countless eyes turned to Linja Fortress. Some were fearful, some were curious, some were in awe, but more were full of anticipation. The county lost its magistrate, a leaderless mess. Master Wang was so frightened he wouldn't leave his house. The Lingxi saw the opportunity. Mr. Lin, the county is now scattered like loose sand. If you don't take action, other forces will soon fill this power vacuum. What are your thoughts? The Lingxi smiled. In that smile was a shrewd, cold edge that belonged to a true politician. You don't have to be the magistrate. Whoever controls the water and grain is the real master. He only took 3 days to come up with a complete plan, to seize control over all county wells and all grain distribution. Every matter was decided by a provisional council. The people not only didn't resist, but rushed to support it. After all, it's the immortal Lin. He dug wells, distributed grain, and eliminated the bandits. Master Wang was exposed by Shen Mengyao's account book. Smuggling salt, hoarding grain, harming the people and colluding with bandits. The evidence was solid. All his property was confiscated. I declare Linja Fortress an autonomous region. No grain or tax to be submitted. Su Qingwu was appointed chief of the guards, responsible for patrols across the county. Shen Mengyao took over all county commerce. Su Zhaoxiao built a laboratory inside the fortress. The Lingxi was in charge of administration. His administrative abilities amazed me. Mediating disputes, allocating resources, resettling refugees. Handled effortlessly, with ease and grace. What was your position in the palace before? One day I couldn't help but ask him. He smiled slightly and didn't answer. Ding! A basic system of order has been established. Civilization assimilation rate surpasses 10%. System unlocks mass production. Point redemption is finally growing by tens of thousands. Shen Mengyao is a business genius. He expanded the temporary trade guild from Qingshan County all the way to 3 neighboring prefectural cities. The main product upgraded from stainless steel mirrors to refined salt. Ancient salt was coarse and bitter, full of sand and dirt. But the refined salt I exchanged from the system was as white as snow, fine as powder and pure in taste, with no impurities. Shen Mengyao named it fresh salt. The moment fresh salt hit the market, it instantly became a hard currency. Merchants everywhere scrambled to buy it. The price soared to 20 times that of normal salt. The profit from Prince Lin's immortal salt already surpassed all other products combined. The first month's net profit was 16,000 taels of silver. What does 16,000 taels mean in ancient times?
It means
I was already wealthier than most county governments. Points flooded in at thousands per day. The system was upgraded to 55. 4. Mall unlocked Kevlar flak jackets, night vision, infrared surveillance, DJI drones. Looking at the options, I couldn't help but smile. But plans can't keep up with changes. The news reached the Zhou family. Zhou Mulan and Shangji heard about the immortal in Qingshan County and immediately took an interest.
he dispatched 300 soldiers to seize Immortal's rice.
Led by a captain who arrogantly stood at the gate of Linja Fortress, slapping documents and shouting, "Lord Zhou Mu orders it. Otherwise you'll be charged with treason." Su Qingwu drew his sword from his waist and looked at him coldly. Where did this cur get the nerve to bark at the gates of Linja Fortress? The captain's face changed drastically. "How dare you?" I went up to the city wall, Barrett rifle in hand. "Look behind you." I pointed to the distance. There was a banner set up out there, with the words Zhou Mu's Royal Army on it. Then I pulled the trigger. The majestic flagpole a kilometer away snapped instantly. The flag drifted down. The gunshot rang through the silent air. Every soldier's face turned deathly pale in a split second. "Go back and tell your masters." My voice came down from the city wall, cold as ice. Linja Fortress submits no grain and pays no taxes. Anyone who disagrees. Next time, it won't just be the flagpole. The 300 soldiers ran for their lives. The name of Linja Fortress. From then on, none dared violate. Peace had barely returned when a new crisis appeared. An epidemic spread along the trade routes. It had already reached the border of Qingshan County. Shen Mengyao was the first to sense the danger. He got the news from traveling merchants and rushed back to report. "Young Master Lin, over 10,000 have already died in Lincheng. The epidemic is coming our way." The Lingxi's expression turned grave instantly. In ancient times, there was no cure for epidemics. Once it hit the county, 9 out of 10 would die. I closed my eyes. In the system mall, masks, disinfectant, and oseltamivir were all available. Total city lockdown. Everyone entering or leaving must wear masks and undergo disinfection. The Lingxi used his political talents to swiftly spread orders to every village. Su Qingwu's guard squad spread out to all the checkpoints, strictly controlling population movement. Shen Mengyao stocked up vast amounts of medicine in the trade hall, to be distributed as needed. Su Zhaoxiao and I developed a simple disinfectant dilution formula. But it wasn't enough. The epidemic still broke through. Several border villages were hit with high fevers. Everyone was terrified. Even basic fever herbs were selling for 10 taels of silver. One day, Brother Lin and Lu Ming made trouble outside the fortress, accusing us of watching them die. I stood atop the fortress wall, looking at the sea of desperate refugees, and opened the system directly, exchanged for 10,000 boxes of ibuprofen in the mall, and 5,000 boxes of oseltamivir. "King Wu, take the guards and distribute the medicine. Tell everyone in Linja Fortress the medicine is free." The medicine was delivered, but something unexpected happened. 3 days and nights later, Su Qingwu, maintaining order in the epidemic area, collapsed. He was burning hot all over. In agony with every breath, "Brother Lin, stay away." I ignored him and put on my protective suit, exchanged a full 4 fever reduction kit from the system. I clumsily but firmly inserted the needle, hung up the 4 bag, and wiped his forehead with alcohol cotton over and over. Physical cooling. Su Qingwu was delirious with fever, clutching my hand tightly, tears rolling down the corners of his eyes. "If I die, don't forget me." I grasped his hand back, my voice hoarse but resolute. "As long as I'm here, even the king of hell can't take you. You still owe me a self-heating hot pot." Ding! Su Qing's emotional state surpassed the threshold, bound by life and death. I put on the protective suit I got from the system, and took the medicine personally to the epidemic area. When that white protective suit appeared before the patients, everyone's eyes changed. An immortal. An immortal is here. I gave every patient oseltamivir. Didn't sleep for 3 days and nights. On the 4th day, the first group of patients' fevers subsided. On the 7th day, the epidemic area had no new cases. By the 10th day, the epidemic was completely quelled. When I took off my protective mask and walked out of the quarantine zone, people were kneeling all over outside the door. It's like the true God is here. Please accept a humble subject's bow. Ding, fame has reached its peak. System upgraded to 55.5. I took off my gloves and flexed my stiff fingers. When I returned to Lin Manor, 4 women were waiting for me at the door. Su Xingyu was the first to rush up and hug me tightly. Brother Lin, if you keep risking your life like this, I'll hit you, believe it or not. Shen Mengyao, red-eyed, handed me a bowl of ginger soup. Young Master Lin, deep down you're such a fool. Su Zhaoxiao tugged at my sleeve in silence, but tears were all over her face. The Lingxi stood at the back. He didn't come forward, but his gaze, those usually cool, restrained eyes, now couldn't hide their warmth. Welcome home, he said, but these 2 words made me feel more fulfilled than any system reward. That night, the Lingxi came to me. Mr. Lin, there are some things I should tell you now. The Lingxi took out a roll of bright yellow silk she'd been holding all the way. This is the late emperor's secret edict. He slowly unrolled it. I looked at the words and seal on it. The current emperor was not the late emperor's chosen successor. Before his death, the late emperor left this edict, passing the throne to the 7th prince, who was my ex-husband. As for the current emperor, the 3rd prince murdered. His father seized the throne and killed the 7th prince and all who knew. Then he stripped me of my title as imperial consort and married me off to a remote magistrate as a favor. He thought that by casting me into this poor region, I'd quietly waste away. But you didn't die. And you kept this edict for me. This is enough to bring him down. But a secret edict alone isn't enough. I need power. Power to show the truth to the whole world. That's why you chose me. You're the most incredible person I've ever met. You don't crave power, don't care for wealth. You just want to build a place where people can survive. Such people don't exist in this world anymore. If I help you overthrow the emperor, what justice do you seek? Justice for the late emperor. Justice for the 7th prince. Justice for the people. Ding, the Lingxi. Favorability maxed out. Unlock the ultimate quest line. Overthrow the imperial power. I looked up at the moon and took a long, deep breath. The Lingxi, to me, you're not just Fi-Fi. Then what am I? My partner. He froze for a second and then smiled. This time, he really smiled. All right, partner. The truth can't stay hidden forever. News of Lin Manor's deeds reached the capital. The emperor smashed 3 teacups in the Hall of Supreme Harmony. That wretch the Lingxi escaped to Lin Manor. Where's the thing in his hand? Did he take it out of there? No one dared answer. The emperor issued a secret order to send 30,000 imperial guards south to kill the Lingxi and destroy the secret edict. When the news reached Lin Manor, everyone's face changed. 30,000 soldiers aren't like some 300 bandits, nor 1,000 brigands. They're the most elite cavalry in Great Qi. Su Qingwa's Lin family army only has 300 men. Young Master Lin, 30,000 imperial guards. How are we supposed to fight? Su Zhaoxiao is holding a walkie-talkie. Her hand is trembling slightly. It's my fault everyone got dragged into this. If I leave right now, who said you could go? Everyone looks at me. I let out a cold laugh. 30,000 men is perfect. I've never had a chance to try my new toys. I open the system panel. Redemption list. 300 sets of Kevlar tactical vests obtained. Total points consumed. 35,000 by Su Qingwu. I toss him a set of body armor. Su Qingwu catches it. He feels the fabric. His pupils contract. Can't be pierced by swords. Can't be cut with knives. Not even their crossbows can get through it. Su Qingwu clenches his jaw. There's a fire burning in his eyes. Brother Lin, let me be the vanguard in this battle. You'll get your chance. But first I pick up a drone and press the power button. The propellers start buzzing. The drone lifts into the air. Everyone looks up at the same time. Let me show them what overwhelming force looks like. 30,000 Imperial Guards, camping on the plains 30 li from Lin family fortress. Armor lined up like a forest. War horses neighing. Banners blocking out the sun. The commander Zhou Jing sits calmly in the main tent, studying engineering plans over a map. It's just a village fortress. 30,000 cavalry can flatten it easily. A strange buzzing outside the tent, getting closer. What's that sound? Zhou Jing looks up.
His face changes dramatically.
5 black flying objects hover above the camp. What are those things? They're flying boom. The first tear gas canister is dropped from a drone, landing precisely at the center of the camp. White smoke spreads instantly. Then the second, third, and fourth canister. The whole camp is engulfed in choking white smoke. Ah, my eyes. Poison gas. It's poison gas. We're poison. Run. The horses go mad, rearing and kicking. The cavalry can't regain control. Riders are thrown everywhere. 300 smoke bombs delivered by drones cover the entire plain. Visibility drops to less than 10 paces. Can't see the flags, can't hear the signals. The command system collapses instantly. Commander, Commander, where are you? I can't see anything. Zhou Jing desperately shouts orders to regroup, but the tear gas makes him cry uncontrollably. 300 soldiers in Kevlar armor emerge from the smoke like ghosts, led by Su Qingwu. Arrows bounce off his body. Blades slash his shoulders. Sparks fly. He's completely unscathed. Demons. Armor-proof demons. The enemy's morale completely collapses. 2 hours later, the battle is over. Zhou Jing is pinned to the ground, looking at the young man with his hands behind his back in front of him. Really? What kind of witchcraft are you using? I squat down, looking him in the eye. It's not witchcraft. It's just something you guys haven't seen yet. Go back and tell your people, the things that Emperor the Lingxi has are real. About how he killed his own father to seize the throne. I'll make sure everyone in the world knows. Zhou Jing's face turns ashen. After defeating the Imperial Guards, I did something important. The Lingxi wrote out the contents of the late Emperor's testament in detail, transcribing everything word for word, along with all the evidence he's collected over the years, including toxicology reports hidden in secret compartments, all organized into one complete document. Using the movable type printing technique I taught her, Su Xiao printed 10,000 copies overnight. Then, using a drone one night, I scattered all 10,000 documents across half the capital. By dawn, the streets of the capital were filled with papers, each one with the same words. The late emperor's testament passed the throne to the 7th prince. Has the current emperor seized the throne? The evidence is undeniable. In the palace, the emperor watches the papers swirling everywhere, as if he had been stripped naked and tossed onto the street. Find out who did this. Get to the bottom of it. But he can't find a clue, because the papers all fell from the sky. Nobody knows what those flying black objects were. Inside and outside the palace, people grow restless. Rumors spread everywhere. Several elder officials in the court verified that the testament was authentic. The handwriting, seal, and paper all matched up. The court was split. The key loyalists who were still hesitant saw the battle report of 30,000 Imperial Guards being defeated, and immediately switched sides. Within 10 days, the emperor's authority was completely destroyed. But the emperor would never just wait for death.
He sent a group of assassins into Lin family fortress.
Their target was to steal my celestial energy stash. That late night, Su Xiao was working overtime in the lab, watching the infrared surveillance feed, when suddenly, 3 heat signatures moved toward the warehouse. No one should be near the warehouse. Brother, someone has broken into the fortress. Su Xiao immediately radioed Su Qingwu. The guard team surrounded the warehouse within 3 minutes, catching the 3 assassins red-handed. They were armed with daggers and hid poison with them. Operating with professional skill, Su Qingwu put a knife to the lead assassin's throat. Sighed, "Who sent you?" The assassin bit down on his poison capsule. But Su Xiao had already prepared emetics. The assassin looked ashen at Su Xiao. holding a demon detector with a red dot flashing on it. There are demon eyes everywhere here. Interrogation revealed he was an imperial envoy. I watched the interrogation records and smirked coldly. Looks like it's time. The Lynxie walks up to me. It's time. The Lynxie, are you ready to be emperor yet? He froze for a while, then shook his head. I've never thought of being emperor. If not you, then who? He was silent for a long time. As long as you're by my side. I hold his hand. Let's go. To the capital, the imperial palace. The great Qi emperor is hosting the spring festival banquet in the palace. He was wrong. That night, the moon was dark and the wind was high. I took Su Qingwu and his 20-man elite assault team, infiltrating through the drainage system in the palace's west wall. Through the night vision goggles, the world was green, clear as day, while the imperial guards on the other side couldn't see anything in the dark. The 20 men moved like ghosts through corridors and movie rooms of the palace, either getting knocked out by Su Qing's gun stock or taken down with stun batons. Only one unconscious body after another lay on the ground. Brother Ning, with these gadgets, the night belongs to us. Always will. We fought all the way to outside the Qianing Hall. Suddenly, countless torches lit up what had been a pitch-black square. The emperor stood at the entrance of the hall, smiling coldly at us. The Lynxie, did you really think I wasn't prepared? Come out, to Qianing guards. 12 men dropped down from the eaves like phantoms, surrounded us completely. Su Qing's expression changed dramatically. Brother Lin, be careful. It's the Tianyan guards. The emperor burst out laughing. Lin Yu, your sorcery is useless before absolute force. I sighed after stunning them. After I put on my protective mask and goggles, 12 top-level masters drew their poisoned soft swords. They turned into 12 afterimages as they charged forward. I pulled 2 M84 flashbangs from my waist, pulled the pins, threw them right at my feet, closed my eyes tight, instantly blinded by the flash. Eardrums shattered. Everyone clutched their eyes, rolling and screaming in agony on the ground. I stepped forward, took out my stun gun. Zzz. One shot for each person. The whole place fell silent. The emperor's maniacal laughter froze on his face. His legs gave out and he dropped to his knees. I put away the stun gun and looked at him. That's your trump card? Guards! Guards! No one came. All the guards had already been taken down. I walked up to him. Blue sparks flickered on my stun baton. I drew a cold blade from my waist and held it to his throat. Great Qi Emperor. I looked down at him, cowering on the ground. Your master seized the throne, butchered loyal ministers, slaughtered the royal clan. The whole world knows. It ends here today. The emperor trembled all over. What do you want? I don't want anything from you. I sheathed the knife, stepped back, making way for the center. The Lynxie stepped out from behind me. He changed into the phoenix robe. Su Zhoxiao had rushed it overnight. He stood in the lamplight, looking down at the fallen ruler. The late emperor's will is here. Great Qi's son of heaven's master. Usurping the throne is an unpardonable crime. Abdicate starting today. The emperor stared at the will in his hand, looked at the soldiers behind him with ghostly eyes, and at the young man staring at him coldly. He finally realized. Everything was over. The first year of Yongqi in Great Qi. The Lynxie took the throne at Tei Hall, becoming the first empress. In the imperial court, all the ministers bowed. I stood beneath the red steps, watching that woman now seated on the dragon throne, radiant in her majesty. Her very first imperial decree appointed Su Qingwu as the grand general of the nation, commanding all the armies of the country. Appoint Shen Mengyao as the minister of revenue, put in charge of all the nation's finances. Appoint Su Zhoxiao as the deputy minister of works and president of the Academy of Sciences, oversee all promotion of new studies. I wish to appoint Mr. Lin as the regent prince. The Lynxie said in the court. I shook my head, saying I don't need it. I'm not taking any official position. The entire court was in an uproar. The Lynxie looked at me, the corners of her mouth slightly curled up. She knew I would say that. Then what does Mr. Lin want to do? Without waiting for my answer, she turned and left. leaving the court officials stunned. The Lingxi smiled while sitting on the dragon throne. Then her face turned serious as she started handling the mountain of state affairs. She was born to be an emperor. From the moment she handled the first memorial, no one doubted this anymore. First, abolish the burial with the dead custom. Second, launch the new imperial examination system. In addition to traditional classics and history, Zhuxiao personally wrote textbooks for natural sciences. The content is basic physics and chemistry I taught her, turned into language ancient students can understand. Among the first batch of students for the new exam, there were poor scholars, merchants' sons, even several young women. The Lingxi specifically issued a decree allowing women to join. In ancient times, this was a groundbreaking reform. Some in court opposed it, but the Lingxi shut them up with one sentence. I am a woman myself. If women can't take the exam, are you saying I am unfit for this throne? I stood under the corridor of the Imperial Academy, watching Su Zhuxiao, excitedly explaining the principle of leverage to the first students. I felt an indescribable sense of fulfillment. But here, they are the seeds of civilization. Civilization propagation module activated. Assimilation rate has surpassed 50%. Points increasing in increments of 100,000. Shen Mengyao's commercial empire exploded after the enthronement. Fine salt, white sugar, quality mirrors, menthol balm. Lin's trading company's products covered the entire Daiki territory, and even spread by sea to neighboring small countries. But what truly made him legendary was the Lin family banknote, even more reliable and convenient than the government-issued currency. Lin's banknotes replaced 70% of all currency in circulation. One day, young Master Lin handed me his quarterly report, looking conflicted. I never thought I could come this far. You were always meant to reach this far. He lowered his head and smiled, then looked up. His eyes had a faint glimmer of moisture. That white sugar you gave me the day you got hit saving me. I've kept it all along. Haven't eaten a single piece. It was only worth a few cents. To you, it's just a few cents. But to the me back then, it meant the whole world. Ding! Shen Mengyao's affection permanently locked at max. Emotional status. Everlasting devotion. Su Qingwu, as Grand General of the state, unleashed his military genius. He used the walkie-talkies I provided to build an instant communication command system and expanded the Lin family army from 300 to 5,000 troops. All orders were carried out within 10 seconds of being given. When he told me this, his eyes were full of pride. I unlocked the military sand table simulation system for him, marking troop strength on the map, calculating marching speed. Su Qingwu mastered it in just 2 days. One day after training, he wiped sweat from his forehead and told me, I used to think the Su family strategy was #1 in the world. But after meeting you, I realized how shallow my understanding used to be. You're not shallow. You were just born in the wrong era. He looked at me, suddenly turned his face aside. Don't say things like that. I'll take it seriously. Ding! Su Qing's affection overflows. Emotional status. Deeply in love. I realized these 4 women felt for me, way beyond simple gratitude. But in troubled times, feelings are a luxury. Su Qing's shoulder casually brushing against mine. Shen Mengyao's secret gazes when tallying accounts. Su Zhuxiao refusing to let go of my sleeve. The Lingxi, after reviewing memos, standing alone by the window, looking toward my courtyard. I'm not made of stone. I've noticed all of it. But it's not the right time yet. In the 3rd month after the new emperor's ascension, northern nomads invaded the south during internal chaos, frontier and crisis. An urgent report covered 800 miles straight to the capital. Civil officials in court panicked, but the Lingxi remained calm, summoned Grand General Su Qing. Su Qingwu, armored, reported in. Commander Chen Xing leads troops north. Northern threat resolved in 15 days. The Lingxi glanced at me. I nodded in approval. On the eve before the campaign, he came to find me. Brother Lin, aren't you going with me? No, this victory should be yours alone. He fell silent for a moment, then suddenly stood on tiptoe, planted a quick kiss on my face, and dashed off right away. Su Qingwu, wait for me to come back. His voice echoed from the darkness. I touched the warm place on my face, not sure if I should laugh or sigh. 12 days later, victory news arrived. Su Qingwu used the walkie-talkie-based instant communication system in the complicated northern terrain, fought a textbook example of mobile warfare. He first used small squads to lure nomad cavalry into pursuit, then coordinated the main force to encircle them by walkie-talkie. The nomad's mobility advantage meant nothing in the face of accurate intelligence. In the final battle, 5,000 against 30,000, over 20,000 enemies were destroyed, 8,000 captured, seized 6,000 war horses. Su Qingwu charged ahead wearing Kevlar body armor, hit by 7 arrows, all deflected by the vest. The nomad tribes called her the Undying Witch, and didn't dare invade the south for decades. When news reached the capital, the whole country celebrated. The Lingxi announced in court, Grand General Su Qing has achieved extraordinary merit, promoted to Northern Marquis, with immense reward. But she looked past all the officials, right to me standing in the back corner. Only I knew. There was joy in her eyes. Su Zhaoxiu's Academy of Sciences finally opened. In the big courtyard, filled with experimental equipment he designed and made, he now could independently recreate most foundational experiments I taught him. He showed an incredible talent for electricity. He got hands on himself and made a simple static electricity generator. Brother, look. He excitedly cranked the handle. Crackling between the 2 metal spheres, electric sparks flickered in the darkness. All the students nearby jumped back 3 steps in fear. Is this the same power that's in your flashlight? Just that the flashlight's is stronger and more stable. Pretty much. I patted his head. You're already 10 times faster than I expected. Su Zhaoxiu's eyes shone bright like fire. Brother, I'll prove it to you. I'll let this whole world learn. Ding! Su Zhaoxiu's achievement unlocked. Civilization fairy tale rate surpassed 70%. 2 world instant travel unlocked. I looked at the prompt. My heart skipped a beat. Does that mean I can go back now? I watched Su Zhaoxiu diligently conducting experiments in the yard. I saw Su Qingwu drilling soldiers outside the window, thinking about those far away in the capital. The Lingxi and Shen Mengyao handling government affairs. Do I really need to go back? That day was the Mid-Autumn Festival. It was rare for the 4 women to gather together. I had the system exchange a batch of mooncakes and osmanthus wine. The moonlight was like water. The scent of osmanthus filled the air. These are called mooncakes. What's the filling inside? Su Qingwu took a bite. Her eyes lit up. The mixed nut one tastes great. The salted egg yolk and lotus seed paste one is even better. Shen Mengyao elegantly sliced a small piece. She tasted it. She nodded. If this could be mass-produced, it would be a huge business. Mengyao, can you not always think about business? Su Qingwu rolled her eyes. What's wrong with making money? Where do you think your soldiers' pay comes from? It's all from what I've earned. The 2 of them argued. Su Zhaoxiu giggled on the side. The Lingxi quietly sipped her osmanthus wine. Moonlight shone on her face. In those always calm eyes, there was unexpectedly a hint of gentleness. 4 women, 4 personalities. Su Qingwu is as fiery as fire and loyal as steel. Shen Mengyao is as gentle as a lake and soft as water. Su Zhaoxiu is pure as snow. The Lingxi is as wise as the stars and as deep as the ocean. Steady as the mountain and forest, the eldest sister. Suddenly, Su Qingwu raised her wine glass. Today's Mid-Autumn Festival. Shall we share what's really on our minds? What's on our minds? She took a deep breath. The 4 of us. Who do you actually like the most? The room fell silent. The mooncake in Shen Mengyao's hand paused mid-air. Su Zhaoxiu's ears turned red. The Lingxi set down her wine glass, but didn't look up. 4 pairs of eyes focused in the same direction. I was silent for 3 seconds. You 4. What is this? In response, Su Qingwu glared at me. I like all of you, no favorites. Su Qingwu's face turned red all the way to her neck. She angrily stuffed the mooncake into her mouth. Shen Mengyao lowered her head and laughed. Su Zhaoxiu buried her face in her knees. The Lingxi finally looked up at me. The moonlight in her eyes shattered into stars. I grant you permission. Why are you spinning around? Su Kingwoo got flustered. That night, the five of us were noisy until midnight. The moon was very round. I thought, even if one day I return to the modern world, such a moon won't be seen there. After the Lingxi returned to the capital, she fully launched the administration reforms. In terms of crop improvement, I used the system to exchange modern compound fertilizer and high-yield sweet potato seedlings. In just a year, the yield tripled compared to previous years. Famine became a thing of the past. Regarding water resources, Su Zhaoxiao led the Academy of Sciences students to build water wheels across the country. In the realm of commerce, Shen Mengyao implemented unified measurements and a standardized silver note system. On the military front, Su Kingwoo made walkie-talkies available to every 100-man unit. And me, I started teaching Su Zhaoxiao the principles of the steam engine. Once the steam engine is built, the Industrial Revolution will arrive 1,000 years ahead of time. The civilization assimilation rate climbed visibly to 80%. At 85%, Su Zhaoxiao's first steam engine prototype roared and spun in the academy's yard. That day I stood by, watching him frantically adjust the air valve. His face was covered in coal dust, but he was grinning crazily. "Big brother, look. It moved its own connecting rod," which spun the flywheel, making a deep and powerful clanking sound. All the students watching were completely stunned. The Lingxi arrived specially after receiving the news. She stood at the courtyard gate and watched for half an hour. "What can this thing do?" He asked about everything. Su Zhaoxiao answered excitedly. "It can replace manual labor and handle tasks. It can even make a vehicle run on its own." The Lingxi looked at me. I nodded slightly. He was silent for a moment. Then he gave an order. Civilization fairy tale rate surpassed 90%. On the night when the civilization fairy tale rate reached 95%, the system popped up a message. The Tier 2 teleportation function will be permanently unlocked when the fairy tale is completed. I sat in the backyard garden, spacing out at the moon for a long time. Go back to a world with takeout, Wi-Fi, and air conditioning. But it also means I can come back anytime. What are you thinking about? I'm thinking, if one day I return to my original world, what will you do? He sat down next to me, rested his head on my shoulder. Then take me with you. Aren't you afraid? That's a world completely different from here. Anywhere you are. I'm not afraid, Shen Mengyao's voice came from the darkness. I'm not afraid either. I don't know when it happened. He came out too. Su Zhaoxiao poked her head out of the lab window. Brother, where are you going? Take Zhaoxiao with you. The Lingxi's voice echoed from the corridor. I'm not afraid either. 4 people in different corners. The same answer. My eyes felt hot. All right, when the civilization fairy tale rate reaches 100%, I'll take you all to see my world. To boost the last 5% of civilization fairy tale rate, I did 2 big things. First was to guide Su Zhaoxiao to develop coal and iron mines in the Western Mountains. Su Zhaoxiao led the top students of the Academy of Sciences and 3,000 miners to establish the first modern mine in Great Qi. She even designed a set of minecart track systems herself, used to transport ore in the mine. The efficiency improved tenfold. Brother, she wrote excitedly in her letter, I came up with a bold idea. What if we install a steam engine on the mine cars and let them run on their own? I laughed when I saw this letter. This girl independently invented the concept of a train. Go do it. I only wrote 2 words in my reply. The second thing, with the Lingxi's support, I launched a nationwide literacy campaign. I had the system exchange a large amount of pencils and simplified textbooks, so local officials could organize people to learn basic reading, writing, and arithmetic. Civilization isn't just machines and weapons. It's about letting every ordinary person have the ability to read and do math. The Lingxi established public schools in every province, with over 100,000 students enrolled in the first year. Civilization fairy tale rate 97%. Civilization fairy tale rate stuck at 98%. The final 2% required triggering the condition of civilization's self-propagation. They must independently invent at least one creation that surpasses the current era. In other words, they can't rely on me anymore. It has to be on their own. He was silent for a long time. Brother, you always teach me. Give me blueprints. Teach me principles. But have I ever truly invented something myself? This time, I said, I won't tell you anything. You figure it out yourself. Su Zhaoxiao locked herself in the lab for a whole month. I didn't go in, didn't give any hints or answer any technical questions. I could hear explosions from the lab every now and then, shattering sounds and occasional whistling or crying. Su Qingwu was really worried. Brother Lin, Zhaoxiao's only 16. How do you know she can do it? Because she's Su Zhaoxiao. On the 31st day, the lab door opened. Su Zhaoxiao walked out, her face covered in soot, her hair as messy as a bird's nest. But her eyes were so bright it was breathtaking. She was holding something in her hands, something small and rough, but it was actually glowing. Brother, her voice was shaking. You never taught me how to make a light bulb, but I made one. I stared at that faint, yet warm glow. Ding, civilization self-propagation detected. Civilization assimilation rate 99%. What about the last 1%? I asked the system. Which world does your civilization belong to? The scene unfolded in my mind. One side was the modern world. Skyscrapers, smartphones, computers, convenience stores, and takeout. That's where I was born. Everything I know. The other side was the brightly lit Lin family fort. Su Qingwu training soldiers on the parade ground. Shen Mengyao managing accounts in the business hall. Su Zhaoxiao grinning in the lab with her light bulb. The Lingxi approving documents on the dragon throne. 2 worlds. What if I choose the modern one? Teleportation function will permanently bind to the modern port. The host can freely return, but all system assistance in the ancient world will be withdrawn. And if I pick here? The teleportation function will be based on both worlds, establishing a permanent channel. Do I even need to think? I smiled. My civilization doesn't belong to any world. It belongs to the people I want to protect. Ding. Selection completed. Civilization fairy tale rate 100%. Free travel between both worlds. Teleportation function permanently unlocked. Instead, there was a door, a glowing door floating in the air. On one side of the door was the modern city streets I knew. On the other side was the osmanthus tree in the Lin family fort's backyard. I took a deep breath and walked through the door. The sunlight was blinding. I stood on a familiar commercial street, surrounded by people in t-shirts and shorts. Phone notification sounds rang non-stop. A food delivery rider whizzed by on an electric scooter. The convenience store's automatic doors opened in front of me, and a blast of cold air hit me. The shelves were packed with every kind of product. Instant noodles, chips, Coke, face masks, portable chargers. These things would be miracles in ancient times. Here, they're priced at 3.5 yuan. I grabbed a bottle of Coke, paid for it, sat by the street, and twisted it open. Familiar bubbles exploded on my tongue. But it didn't taste as good as it did under the moonlight when I handed it to the Lingxi. I finished the Coke sitting by the street, then stood up. Wholesale market. I bought a whole truckload of supplies, books, tools, seeds, medicine, teaching equipment. Boss, why are you buying so many textbooks? Teaching students which school? A very faraway place. I pushed everything through the teleportation door and returned under the osmanthus tree. Brother, what are all these? Let me take a look. He pounced and started rummaging through things. Every time he found a modern textbook, he would exclaim, "What's this?" Fundamentals of Materials Mechanics. Wow, the formula's in here. Don't rush, take your time to learn. Su Jiaoxiao hugged a stack of books to her chest, as if she were holding the world's most precious treasure. Brother, what's your world like? One day I'll take you to see it. His eyes shone even brighter. I became someone who travels between two worlds. In the modern era, I bought all kinds of supplies and knowledge. Su Qingwu's army was equipped with standardized uniforms and simple rangefinders. It became the most elite and modern force in Great Qi. Shen Mengyao's business established a nationwide logistics network. He even invented a sorting system for express deliveries. Su Zhouxiu's Academy of Sciences trained the first batch of scholars in material science. Some of them improved the steam engine. Others created a simple telegraph. The Lingxi's intelligence made Great Qi the most prosperous and stable nation of this era. The population grew. The people enjoyed wealth. Education and culture flourished. Sometimes I would bring little things from the modern world. I gave Su Qingwu a pair of sunglasses. After he put them on, he strutted through the drill ground impressively. Everyone in the army was stunned. The general's magical wood. I gave Shen Mengyao a lipstick. He tried the color and smiled in satisfaction. I knew you had great taste. I brought Su Zhaoxiao a calculator. He pressed the buttons on that small cube for 3 days and nights. Then he announced he was going to build a bigger computing machine than that one. I gave the Lingxi a bouquet of roses. When he took the flowers, he just stood there stunned. You have these flowers in your world too. They're everywhere. But I think only you deserve this bouquet. The Lingxi lowered his head and smelled the fragrance of the flowers. A slight smile curved his lips. That night, after reviewing the memorials, he placed the bouquet on the imperial desk. The entire court saw the flowers on the imperial desk the next day and talked about it non-stop. The Lingxi kept a straight face. These were a gift from Mr. Lin. Anyone have something to say? No one had anything to say. Su Zhaoxiu's first railway was open for operation. When that iron hunk belched black smoke and thundered along the tracks, the whole crowd went silent, and then erupted in deafening cheers. The iron horse can run by itself. Iron horse Su Zhaoxiao stood beside the locomotive, her little face covered in coal dust. But her smile was radiant. Your Majesty, the first railway is now open. The Lingxi looked at the steam locomotive in silence for a long time. He turned to me. You've taught someone who can change the world. I didn't teach them. I shook my head. It was she who chose to change the world. Su Zhaoxiao wiped her tears secretly beside us. Ding! Modern achievements. The world's first railway in ancient times is open. Unlocked the full knowledge-sharing channel between two worlds. From this day on, the two worlds were no longer isolated. I spent a weekend bringing 4 people across the portal into a modern city. As soon as Su Qingwu stepped outside, she went into battle mode. To her, the tall buildings looked like engineering machinery. Cars were iron beasts. Traffic lights were signal flags. Brother Lin, there are people inside those iron boxes. Are they trapped? Should we rescue them? Those are called cars. People get in them willingly. It took Su Qingwu an hour to accept the fact that horses could run without eating grass. Shen Mengyao adapted the fastest. The moment she walked into the mall, her eyes lit up. Young Master Lin. Every product's display, pricing, and promotion strategy here is a field of study. She was already analyzing the supermarket's supply chain model. Su Zhaoxiao rushed straight into an electronics store, hugged a laptop, and refused to let go. What is this? There's light and words inside. The sales clerk was startled by his enthusiasm. Computer? An electric brain? So how much information can it store? What's its processing speed? The Lingxi stood on the street, quietly watching the endless stream of vehicles. He wasn't surprised at all. He just let out a long sigh. No wonder you wanted to come back here. I didn't want to come back. Really, I didn't. That world is very convenient. But when I look at the four women around me, Su Qingwu is eating fried chicken, with grease dripping from the corner of her mouth, saying it's delicious over and over again. Shen Mengyao is carrying a bag of skincare products, radiating happiness. Su Zhouxiao is clutching 3 introductory programming books, unwilling to let go. The tip of the Lingxi's finger unintentionally brushed the back of my hand. But that world doesn't have you all. The Lingxi looked away, but held my hand firmly. He didn't let go. After that, I began to bring them to the modern world on a regular basis. Su Qingwu became deeply intrigued by the combat gym. He entered and fought an amateur match. Knocked out 3 amateur fighters. Miss, you should go pro in MMA. Champion level talent right there. Su Qingwu smiled and politely declined. What interested him more were those modern military strategy books. The new interpretation of the art of war on modern warfare, information warfare. War. Shen Mengyao started studying modern finance and business management. Back in the past, she boldly reformed the management structure of the Lin Trading Company. Su Zhouxiao's learning speed was the most terrifying. He went from basic programming to beginner-level electronic engineering. Back under our supervision, he invented real electric lamps and telegraphs. The Lingxi was the quietest one. He combed through all the records on the evolution of political systems. After returning, he began drafting the first constitutional proposal in Great Qi's history. A country can't rely only on the emperor, he told me. It has to rely on the law. Looking at these 4 women who had walked out of the wilderness, I was overwhelmed with a pride I couldn't put into words. They are not my sidekicks. They are the ones truly changing both worlds. Su Zhouxiao's first big project upon returning to the past was the telegraph. He combined the electrical knowledge he learned in the present, utilized the academy's resources and the hands of craftsmen, and managed to build a functional telegraph transmitter from scratch. When the first telegram was sent from the capital to Linja Fort, Su Qingwu Huitaki finally had a more stable replacement. General Su. The telegraph operator stuttered out a message from a slip of paper. Message from the capital. His Majesty asks what Mr. Lin is having for dinner tonight. Su 75 almost flipped the table. The Lingxi. You're using national communication equipment to send messages like that? I was laughing so hard at the side I couldn't straighten up. But after laughing, I looked at that rough telegraph machine, and my heart felt burning hot. Su Zhouxiao did it. He used ancient materials to create an invention ahead of its time. The seed of civilization has already taken root and begun to sprout. Su Zhouxiao's Academy of Sciences has trained 300 bachelor scholars in natural philosophy. Steam engines are now widely used in mines and textile factories. The rail line has grown from 1 to 3. The telegraph network now covers all the major cities in the country. Shen Mengyao's Lin Trading Company is no longer just a merchant house. It has become the largest corporate group in Great Qi. Su Qingwu's army completed its transformation from cold weapons to semi-modernization. Invading neighbors hit a wall at the border twice. The Lingxi's constitutional draft was formally passed in court after a year of revisions and discussions. It was officially adopted in court. And I've become more and more clearly aware of something. This world no longer needs Lin Xianren. What it needs are Su Qingwu, Shen Mengyao, Su Zhouxiao, the Lingxi. They're the real protagonists of this era. On an ordinary afternoon, the sun was just right, and the breeze was gentle. I was lying on a chair in the backyard, legs crossed, holding a leisure book I brought back from the present. Next to me, Su Zhouxiao was dismantling a new experimental device at the workbench, muttering formulas under his breath. Shen Mengyao sat on the other side of the stone table, her fingers flying across the abacus beads. On the training ground behind us, Su Qing's powerful command echoed, and in the study in the distance, the Lingxi was reviewing official reports, occasionally muttering approved under his breath. Then, rejected, I put down my book, looked up at the sunshine filtered through the osmanthus branches, when the system panel quietly popped up. The portal between the 2 worlds is now permanently open. The host status is free. Thank you for making both worlds better. I smiled. You're welcome, bro. Who are you talking to? Are you losing your mind again? Brother Lin, what's for dinner tonight? Hot pot again? Can't we have something new? I vote for hot pot. I want some too. You're the emperor. Can't you act a bit more reserved? Lying on my chair, listening to all this commotion like a pot of porridge, I couldn't help but grin. From a traveler lost in the wilderness to a wanderer between two worlds. In the end, the place I stayed was always at their side. In the end, this chaotic world really became my back garden.